Morning, Harper. Good to see you, as I do every day.
Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit about your role, generally with the company, and then we'll kind of work into like live events.
Yeah, so the main thing I do is I head up the technical side of both production and editing, overseeing the other team members, and basically making things happen is the main thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, isn't there? A lot of stuff to do. So how long have you been with us now?
Coming up to 4 years now, which has gone incredibly quickly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's often lots to do, and it kind of keeps you busy, isn't it? So with kind of live events and things like that, like what's your role normally at a kind of an event?
So again, I'm sort of overseeing the team, making sure everyone's in the right place. Also making sure the technical side of things work correctly, because the last thing you want on a day, which can also be quite stressful because we're working to the event's timescale, we can't do a second take on a lot of things. Making sure the cameras are all set up correctly, making sure the team members know what they're doing, and just basically making sure it all goes smoothly.
Cool. So obviously we've got our fancy box, which is
our fancy
box.
Our live vision mixer, yeah. So what we can do with that is take multiple cameras at the same time. So apart from having to edit it afterwards, it can all be cut together in a linear fashion.
And that really saves kind of time and money for the client, doesn't it?
That's it, yeah. So what it can do, it means that apart from us having to take each individual camera, say if it's for a presentation, somebody on stage, if I'm having to go afterwards and cut between each camera in post, it's all done live, so as soon as that event finishes, we can hand over the files.
And that's really useful. So one of our clients that we do work with is they do a company town hall every month, don't they? And we literally shoot the event, mix in the presentations at the same time, so you can see it all, and then you kind of end up with a file that you can literally give to them like kind of pretty much straight away after the event.
That's it,
as well as we live stream that event, don't we? So talk to me a little bit about the kind of the technical side of live streaming.
Yeah, so obviously it can be, again, as you say, it's quite a technical thing, because a lot of people will know about Facebook Live on their mobile phone, but we take it one step further than that. So we can, obviously, with your mobile phone, you've got your camera, that's it. But once we have the vision mixer in, we can have up to 8 different cameras, and also we can have a direct feed from your laptop. So if you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, it means that people watching at home can see every detail on your PowerPoint, so it's not, again, an iPhone at the back of the room where people are going to be struggling to see. We can also send it to, say, YouTube as well, to Twitter, and in fact we can do that at the same time, so you can have the biggest audience worldwide.
Okay, that's good. I didn't know. So that's quite new, isn't it? That we used to be able to kind of send it to a single platform, but now we can go.
Now you can go to as many as you like, basically. Yeah.
So it's really interesting that job what you did for the FT Weekender, where we went to YouTube channel for most of the day, and then they just did that one live. I think we had 4 cameras on that shoot, where we had a live mix going straight to their Facebook page, which had about 1 million people on it or something.
They had 3.5 million subscribers, and again, all worked perfectly flawlessly, which I always like when that happens. Yeah. So I think they ended up getting, it was 40,000 people watching at the same time. So again, it's just a great way of increasing your reach, especially we did a medical conference last year, where the bonus there was, obviously there's lots of specialists around the world that just can't travel to the UK because of the time, expense. They could watch live, they were sending in questions as well. So it really helps to interact with your audience in a much more real-time fashion.
It's always good to have that kind of extra person, isn't it, on the day that can manage the questions from that like Facebook feed or from the YouTube feed or whatever it is that you do. So what other applications are there? So it's interesting, we've been working with clients where they've been using this for webinars. So traditionally a webinar would be a laptop, camera, filming up your nose, you talking to it, and that would be about it. But our clients are now recognising that they need to take this to the next level.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's about engagement, I think. I think, as you say, those ones where it's just the laptop camera that's a bit fuzzy, they're sort of constantly looking down, it's a terrible angle. Whereas if we add in the live streaming, it's all in high definition, crystal clear. You can have the PowerPoint presentation, and if you've got a product to show off, you can get really nice close-ups of that if you're doing a demonstration. And again, we can do it to multiple different platforms, anything you want basically. We've done for one client where it had to be really secure. They wanted a registration list, they knew who was watching, how they were watching, for how long they were watching, doing question and answers as well. So again, it's the most flexible way of doing webinars.
And they had people from all over the world on that event.
Yeah, there was all sorts of countries. Yeah.
So I think it's really interesting. There's lots of applications of this. Like, what results are we often hoping for our clients? So there's different types of events. There's webinars, there's big expos, there's kind of presentations that you want to live stream. What would be a good result for our clients out of these types of events?
Well, I guess it's seeing that their audience is more engaged with their event. Also, you've got let's say an expo, you've got your audience that's there in the room at the time, but you could have 3, 4, 5 times that watching online, or essentially an infinite amount of people watching online. So if you are doing a product launch or a presentation about a certain topic, you're going to have more people know about that in real time. Because obviously we do the highlights videos and everything, but those take a few months to come out, so you can hit it whilst the iron's hot, basically.
Yeah, and I think that is the magic, isn't it, of an event. You can get people there and you get them to focus on what you're talking about in that moment. And if you do have the option available for people outside, and I think that the cost-saving benefits are immense as well. If you've got, 40 presentations to film over a 3-day event, if you film those all on 3 or 4 cameras, take that into post-production, you're talking weeks and weeks of time. Absolutely. Whereas actually that's edited live.
Yeah, because it tends to take at least 3 times as long as the event. Say if it was an hour-long presentation, it's going to take at least 3 or 4 hours to edit that. If you're taking each individual camera, taking it to an editing machine, putting it through, exporting out and delivering the final thing. But as you say, if it's it's like editing live. It's all ready to go by the time the event's finished.
So a benefit that people often overlook is having screens around the venue. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's another sort of really useful application of it is if you've got a large audience in a large auditorium, you can disappear. People at the back of the room, you're a tiny little dot at the front. So what you can do is you might have seen them at like concerts. Is the main thing you'll see them at. It's large screens, and we can take multiple different cameras and your presentation, your PowerPoint presentation, or whatever you're using on a laptop, and project those onto live screens. So it makes it it's about audience engagement. If they can see exactly what's going on, they can see your face, they can see your emotions, you're going to have more impact on that audience.
Yeah, so the sort of thing where you might imagine, you've got 350 people in a room, one speaker on the stage, and then you've got maybe 8 85-inch TVs at different points around the room, potentially even outside the room. So there's one event we did where we had, I think it was about a 40-foot screen, which was outside of the main presentation room because they knew that it would be fully booked, and so they had a separate area outside so people could see and still engage with the event, like kind of from outside. So I think that's really critical area to think about at your event. Great. So I think that kind of pretty broadly covers like live streaming for events. So I think it's been really good to chat. If clients want to get in touch and have a chat with you about their kind of live streaming requirements, it can be quite technical, but you're really good at kind of cutting through that and talking to the client. So thanks for your time, Harper. Nice one.
Nice.